everybody, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Heather and we do fun, fabulous, totally real sewing tutorials on our channel. So thanks for joining us here today. We are doing something brand new and absolutely adorable, okay? Again, brand new and absolutely adorable and totally something you're gonna want to add to your sewing pattern collection. Okay, today we are doing the Amara bag, which is a part of the Amara bag and gift purse pattern by Divine Fash clothing bag patterns. Are you guys ready? You guys ready for a little sneaky? Oh, yes, she is so cute. Okay, so cute. We're gonna go through the whole thing together. Materials, how to make everything, what to do if you are unsure about something, and how to modify if, say, maybe you're not good at hand sewing, which I'm not, because there is a little bit of this that suggests you do that, and I kind of give you a little different solution. So it's fabulous, and it's a twofer. So there is a gift purse also. This video only covers the Amara bag, but there is two different pieces, and so you'll definitely want to check it out. We use elastic in this bag, and whew, it's awesome. It's so cool how it comes together. Seriously, I love when you look at something and you're like, I am not sure about that, and then you do it and you're like, oh my gosh, this is the cutest thing ever. I've said that 1,000 times, but it's true. All right, so let's get on into our materials and our sewing. All right, so let's go over our materials for today. On our interior, we're opting not to do the slip pocket. So we just have our main interior panel piece. This is a canvas, and it's from Itchin' to Get Stitchin'. It's like a watercolor, super pretty. So that's our main lining, and then our base lining. We have our magnetic snap here. And instead of D-rings, we're going to use O-rings. I just, for no reason other than I think they'll look pretty. We have our scrap Decaville Heavy, and this will be for installing our snaps. That way we make sure we give it some structure. We're going to do a hang tag on the inside of our bag, so this will be in the lining. And this is mostly because with the bow on the front, we're not really, I don't want to take away from that. So I'd rather just put my tag inside. So it's fun to use these. Here's our elastic that we need for closing the bag up. We've got some gold rivets. This is our exterior here. This is a denim look vinyl from Oh So Pretty Custom Fabric. It's like a really pretty blue color. This is the piece we need for our handle. And then we are making the bow version, and so we have what we need to make the bow, as well as two D-ring connectors and the center part of our bow as well, our base, and our main panel exterior. All right, so that is everything, I think. I don't know, sometimes we miss things, you know. If you've watched me before, I'm always like, oh yeah, that's right, and this too. But this is most of our materials, so let's head on over to the machine and get going. All right, we're at the machine, which is a Juki TL2010Q. We are using Tex 35 weight thread from Wizardry Stitchery. We have a tank foot on our machine. This is from Soulful Therapy. We have a Microtex 9014 needle. And I think that's it. All right, so we're gonna start. First step is taking the short edges of our main exterior right sides together. And we're just gonna clip. Okay. And then we're gonna sew together using the seam allowance given in the pattern. Make sure you backstitch. And you don't want to get a really structured vinyl for this bag because it's meant to sort of pleat and crease, and it would be really difficult with super structured vinyl. Okay. Now we're going to turn this so that it's right side out. And what we want to do is find what will be our 4 basic centers. And so you're just making your first one directly across from your stitch, and that will be your other center. And we're just made a little triangle. And then I'm going to line up our triangle with the center. Okay. And we'll come over here. We're going to snip this side. And then this side. We're going to do the same thing at the bottom. So we'll have 3 notches plus a seam on the top and the bottom of our panel. All right, the notches are done. So we set that to the side for now. Our lining is also short side, right sides together. However, we have made a couple of marks over here. So we're going to stitch down to our first mark and then back stitch. We're going to leave this open, and we're going to start again at our second mark and come all the way down to the bottom. Okay, and then start again on your second line. And you're going to notch this exactly the same way, okay? So right sides. So just like we did on the exterior. So I'm going to go ahead and notch these, and then we're going to move on to our D-ring connectors. All right, so now we're working on our D-ring, or in our case, our O-ring connectors. So we have gone ahead and drawn a line in the center, and we're just going to fold both of our long raw edges into the center. You just don't want them to overlap. Okay, like so. Same thing over here. All right, and we're going to go ahead and just stitch down both sides. At a top stitch, so 1/8 inch from the edge. These short ends, they do not matter in the grand scheme. We won't see these. Okay, same thing over here. right, that is good to go. And now we are going to find our little snips, which I have somehow lost. Here we go. Just cut off those extra long threads. Okay. Alright, now we're going to attach these to our main panel. And our seam is the back, okay? So we want to attach them to our sides. Like so. So those triangles that we made were just attaching right there. Okay, and we're just going to baste these in place for now. Okay, and the second one. And just be mindful of your materials here. So if you have a machine that can't go through this many layers of vinyl, definitely keep that in mind. All right, there we go. So cute. All right, so now we're gonna take our interior. Okay. And we're just going to slide our exterior in. Okay, so right sides are together here. Okay. We're going to match up our seams. Okay, and then we're just going to do a couple clips on either side of that back seam. And then we'll find the front. We're going to match that up. Same thing, just a couple clips on both sides. You get the gist. And then we're going to find our side notches. Match those. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And then we're going to clip all the way around. Okay? So I'm going to keep doing that, and then I'll come back together once everything is clipped. All right, we're all clipped. We're going to go ahead and sew together our top edge using the seam allowance in the pattern, which is different. So you do want to make sure that you pay attention to your seam allowances and where you're supposed to be sewing at. And we're just going all the way around our top here. We'll just keep moving as we go. And I'm just back stitching to make sure that we don't skip any stitches as we change the height that we're sewing. Those connector pieces are taller, and you want to make sure that your machine picks up that height difference. Okay, same thing, we're back at a connector. All right, and back to where we started. Perfect. All right, so now we're gonna work on getting our snap placements. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the way we're gonna do that is a little different than the pattern. We're just gonna keep this wrong side out. Okay, so we're matching up the bottom. Your exterior is on the inside a little bit, and so to make sure we get the marking that we need, we're going to turn this. And just clip. I'm going to clip the bottoms together. Okay. In the pattern, you can turn this right side out and do it, but I'm going to work from the wrong side. Whatever works for you. I think that I always think one of the best things about patterns is that there is no right or wrong way. There are usually a bunch of ways to get to the same result. And that's really important to keep in mind, because sometimes you'll find somebody does something different than you do, and that's totally fine. Okay. All right, now we are going to, from our bottom, we're going to come up 1/2 inch on our back seam. We're going to center a washer. Okay. And then same thing over here. We're going to come up a 1/2 inch from our center marking. We're going to center a washer. Okay. All right, we're gonna make our slits, and to do that, we are gonna unclip the bottom. We also just need to cut some scrap Decaville while we're at it. And we need our seam ripper. Okay. So on these two, we're going to make the same marks. Can you see that? No. So same marks. Then we're just going to stick our seam ripper in and make a slit. Same thing. Okay, so these pieces are ready. We're unclipping everything. Okay. All right. And now we're just gonna make sure our hand is in here so that we don't accidentally seam rip anything we're not supposed to. And we're just going to go right in those slits and up a little bit. On both sides. Okay. Now the back side is going to be our female end, which is this side here. And this is our back side. So we're just going to reach in here. We're going to find those slits like so. We're going to add our Decaville. And then our backing. Okay, and we are just going to, I like on these to push them to the sides. Like so. Okay. That's in there good. Now we're going to come over and do the same thing over here, but with the male end. So we'll come in and just find those slits. Add our Decaville just like we did before. Add our backing. Now we do just want to tape over our prongs to make sure that they don't over time sort of fuss at our inner fabric, and you can do this with any sort of tape. We enjoy hockey tape here, so that's what we're going to use. But you can use anything. I do a lot of duct tape also. I just don't have any duct tape at the moment. Okay, so that's one. Two. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to re-clip our base panels together to make sure that we are good to go here. All right. So we are just turning our bag. Sorry, guys. All right, so we're going to turn this again. And we're going to re-clip everything that we just sort of unclipped to start our stitching to create the channel for our elastic. So I'm going to go ahead and go around and clip the bottom again, and then we'll come back. All right, we're clipped and we're even. Now we are going to top stitch, but we're not top stitching the top. And so because we're not top stitching the top, but I don't want anything to move, I'm also just clipping along these top parts here. That will hopefully help everything sort of stay in place for us. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to top stitch on our lining panel. Okay, so and this is where we're top stitching on our lining panel. So top stitch is just 1/4 inch away from the edge, and so we're going to go all the way around our bag at 1/4 inch. Not 1/4, 1/8, okay? On the lining, you guys. And we're just gonna take it slow over our connectors. Be careful for your snaps. Make sure everything is flat where you're stitching. Once again, we're going to go slow over our connector just to make sure everything lines up and catches. Just cutting off our extra thread here. Okay, and we are coming up to our bulkier seam. Okay, we're almost back to where we've begun. All right, first top stitch done. Not so bad, not so bad, right? Okay, now we are gonna do another top stitch, and we want to do that 3/8 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch away from the first top stitch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm actually going to mark where we are going to stitch with a chalk pencil. Okay, so we are going to measure 3/4 of an inch from our top stitch line, and I'm just going to make a chalk mark all the way. I'm going to do that I'm going to do it off camera because I have to put my head in here, which I know you guys don't want to see. So I'm going to do that and then we'll come back together. Okay, so let me bring this up. You can see I have that chalk mark all the way around where we are stitching. So we're just going to follow that all the way around. Okay. This is creating the channel for our elastic. And I'm just going to get in here, make sure we're flat. Okay. And here's my big thing here. If this is not super perfect, no one's gonna notice because we're cinching this bag together anyways with this elastic, and it's not gonna be a big deal. Just do your best. And you are sewing through the lining and the main exterior here. All right, we're coming back to right where we started, and we're exactly where we need to be. Perfect. All right. Now, and that chalk will erase, so not worried about that. So here's what our outside looks like. You see we have that stitching. Now we left a hole, remember, in our lining. And I am lucky enough to have this tool here. I will see if I can find it on Amazon because that's where I got it. It's for elastic specifically, and it's for scrunchies. But it's going to come in handy here. So we're just going to put our elastic in the bit, and we're going to push this through our channel. And you could use a safety pin if you don't have one of these tools, or you could use a paper clip or something that's going to get you all the way through. And I know this is really hard to see, but I'm just going to keep pushing through the channel while holding onto one end of the elastic until I come out the other side. Okay. Once you get it all the way through, you just want to be really careful not to let the ends go. Okay, and we're going to stitch this together, these ends here, very carefully. Again, you do not want to lose these or let them go or anything like that, because you'll be very upset. Okay, and these are elastic, so obviously they want to stretch. And we're going to just grab our screwdriver to hold these. And we're just going back and forth a couple of times here. We just want to make sure that they're sewn together. And they do seem to be stitched together, so now we can push these in. Just trim our extra thread. All right. And we can make it so that our elastic is evenly distributed across our bag. Like so. Okay, there we go. That's the top. Woo! Sweating. All right, here we are. We're going to do the base panels. And to do that, we need to make those 4 notches. So you just fold your circle in half. Okay, and then same thing. Find those marks we just made. Fold in half. I'm going to do the same thing for our interior base panel. And if you've never sewn a circle before, circles are actually not too hard. I think they're easier than corners, because it's just one continuous stitch around. We also have our hang tag over here. We're going to remember to put that in when we sew the base of our lining. All right. So we're going to unclip everything. And we're going to, oh, we gotta unclip our top too. We don't need that to be clipped anymore. But see how not top stitching the top made these cute little, it's almost like ribbon. So cute. Where you wanna pull this. Like so. There we go. All right, so we have our wrong sides out. We're gonna do our exterior first. We're gonna line up those triangles. Now there's excess fabric, and that is on purpose. It is so you can pleat. So all we're doing right now is just clipping those triangles. Okay, like so. And then we're gonna go for making a few pleats in between each of our triangle center pieces. Okay, so that was 2, so that's what we're gonna aim for. And we're just folding the fabric back in on itself. So nothing too crazy here. Again, we are going for 2 in between. You can sort of make it work however you'd like. You can see I'm just grabbing fabric. Okay, one more side to go with a couple of pleats. And you can do you on this. There you can do multiple smaller pleats, whatever is going to work for you. Again, you know I believe there is no right or wrong way in sewing, and so however you make it work is how it's going to work. All right, we're pleated. Now we are going to stitch around the bottom, following the seam allowance, so make sure you pay attention to that. And we're going to stitch all the way around here. Okay. Remember, this is a circle, so do your best. Does not have to be perfect. Make sure you backstitch. And just try to keep that same seam allowance going all the way around your circle. We're just being mindful, going over those pleats. I am so excited to see how this is going to turn out. Just take your time, you guys. We're almost back to where we started. Here we come, back around. There we go. Bottom is on. Okay. Now we're going to attach our lining the exact same way. So we're going to match everything up. And then, so I'm going to do that off camera because it's the same. We are going to leave a little bit open. So I'll show you what that is. And we're going to put our hang tag in here in the bottom also. And I actually think we will probably put that in where we leave it open. So, all right, I'm going to clip, again, right sides together all the way around and do the same pleating. All right, so we have the whole thing clipped, but like I said, we're going to leave a section open for us to go ahead and close or be able to turn our bag through. So we need a turn hole, basically, is what we are going to leave. So we're going to start, again, following the same seam allowance. We have the same pleating. And we're just going to pay attention to where we started because we're just going to stop right before that. Try to keep wherever you're sewing flat. All right, so we are getting back to where we started. So we are gonna leave this whole thing open. So we're just gonna back stitch. Okay. And you can see here, so we've left a good bit. We don't have anything too hard to sort of turn through, so I'm not really worried about it. We're just gonna grab the bottom. And just work it through. Okay, and we're just gonna reach in and at the bottom, look how cute those pleats look. Now here, we want to remember that we need to add a pleat in here for it to match up. Okay. All right, like so. We're gonna throw our name tag in here. Okay. So you'll see that pretty down there. All right. Now we're just gonna stitch this together to close up the inside of our bag. And then, you guys, we're almost done. We're moving on to the handle and the bow, and then we'll be all put together. I'm going to show you what we look like here as soon as I'm done. There we go. So cute, you guys. Seriously. So cute. Let me grab my lighter. So we're using everything today. Just gonna get rid of some of those threads. Push our lining inside. So cute, you guys. So cute. All right, let's make our handle. Oh my God, yes. Adorable. All right, move on. We're moving on. We're gonna make our handle. All right, so we have our center mark here. We're gonna use clips. Okay, we're just gonna fold into the center all the way down both long edges. And it is rare that I will make a handle, but we are making a handle. I know. What kind of world are we living in? I like the look of the handle instead of webbing. Sometimes webbing, like, it's just not fancy enough. I think this bag's kind of fancy. It's also so stinking cute. I'm like staring at it. You can't see it because it's off camera, but I'm staring at it and like, oh my gosh, this is adorable. I feel like I know a whole lot of people who are going to want to steal this from me. All right, so we're clipped down both sides, you guys, and then we're just going to fold it over and we're going to match up our edges. and reclip everything together. You're not going to be carrying a lot of weight in here, so we don't have any Decaville or anything like that. Not really worried about it. We are going to use our rivets to attach the strap. You could sew it, but we're not going to. All right, we're going to sew down both long sides here. And we will actually sew down the ends as well. Those will remain out. And we're doing a top stitch, 1/8 of an inch. Like I said, we are going to pivot across. And then back down the other side. We're just going to cut our long thread. There we go. See, we don't make straps often, but when we do, we make straps. Look how cute. All right, so we want our folded edge to go towards the back of the bag, and the back is the one with the seam. And for now, what we're gonna do is just clip around our rings. Okay, and what I'll do off camera is just rivet this in place. But here you can see this is what our handle is gonna look like. So cute. All right, we're gonna make the bow now. All right, so for the bow, you need both the bow panel and the center, which will end up being the connector. And this is the same as we did for our D-ring connectors here. So we found our center, we marked it, and we are gonna clip. And we are gonna sew down both sides. Personal preference, I prefer stitching these together so that there's a nice little top stitch Okay. So we're gonna do that quickly. We are also, so the pattern it gives you a couple of different options. First of all, you can make a rose or you can make a bow. We chose the bow. Bows are in right now. Not that roses aren't, but bows are my jam. So that's what we're gonna try. Have I done a successful one? Only once in my life. But we're gonna go for it. Whatever. Okay. It has you either hand stitching, which I don't hand stitch. I have no idea how to do that. Or it has you using almost like a little snap. We are going to use a rivet. We're going to try. Anyways, see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Maybe good, maybe bad. I don't know. We're going to find out. I don't know. We're going to try it. All right, so then we're going to take our bow panel and we're going to place the long sides together. We're going to clip around all 3 sides. Now we're going to sew and we're going to leave the center open so that we can turn our bow. Okay, and this is where we're going to leave our turn hole. All right, anywhere where there is a corner, we're going to get nice and close to those stitches but not go through them and cut that off, including up here. This will help when we poke out our edges. Okay. So now we're just going to come in and turn a bow. Right side out, or bow panel, I should say. Okay, and get into those corners and push them out real good. Might have to get in there with a turning tool. Just make sure it's nothing too sharp. You don't want to go through what you just stitched by accident. Okay, we're going to let the air out of that. And so this is basically, this is how your bow sort of, oops, together. All right. So this is our bow, okay, like so. We are going to close up our turn hole before we do anything else, and a rivet's not going to work, but I do think a magnetic snap with rivets will work because we can go right through into the bag. which is what we want to do, I think we're going to go for it. Okay. All right, so we're just going to go right over our opening here. This will be underneath, so it's not a big deal. 1/8 of an inch just to close it up. You don't want it to come undone. Okay, now the trick here is going to be to get everything lined up appropriately. We also don't have gold magnetic snaps, but you will hardly see these. So we do have oh, I wish it was live. I think we were gonna go silver, but I think we're gonna go antique bronze here. We're gonna go antique bronze. I think it's close enough. All right, we're just gonna do some little, we're gonna crunch, do some folds. Okay, and what our goal right now is to see where we overlap, because we're just gonna go through both parts of our connector with our rivet. See what I'm thinking here? So we'll have the snap part be on the back through both of these, which will secure our middle part of our bow while also making it so that we can secure right to the bag, which is what we want. Okay. So that's what I'm thinking, and that is what we're gonna go with. All right, yes. So we're basically just gonna go through the center, real close to the ends on both of these. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop a hole through both sides, and then we'll come back together and put it all in place. Okay, so I just want to show you, I have it on. I have to set it still, which might be a little sketchy, but we're gonna try it. Just see what happens. See if we can make this work this way. Not my best bow, but you know what? Not my worst. All right, we're gonna set this, and then what we'll do is we'll come over to the bag, figure out where we need to put our other piece, and we'll make a mark and set that. All right, so I will be right back. All right, guys, somehow it's set. I don't know how, but it did. We're feeling good about it. Okay. Now, what we want to do is we want to get this right below our magnetic snap on the front. Okay. And so I think I want to go about here. That should be good. So we're going to punch a hole, add our hole punch through the lining and the exterior, right where that hole is. Okay, and then we're going to install the second part of our rivet snap. All right, so our hole is in there. Okay, now we're just going to set that, and then we'll attach our bow and see how it looks. All right, you guys, we are all done our Amara bag. Let's take a look at her. The pleating, I just am obsessed. Like it's, the handle's long enough. It fits on your elbow. Okay. Again, we used O-rings instead of D-rings. I kind of love the O-rings here, you guys. I do. If you don't have them, that's fine. I did not have D-rings that I liked for this pattern, so that's why we went with O-rings. And the point being here, like, you can sort of substitute things that you have, so don't go buying something that you don't have. There are always substitutions. And look at our handle. If you watch me, you know, usually we use webbing, but this vinyl made such a good handle. It top stitched beautifully, which is always what I'm afraid of because, you know, I'm not a good top stitcher. We attached our bow with a magnetic snap rivet because we didn't hand stitch. And what's awesome is like the little cinch, you can't even see. We didn't have any gold. We had to use an antique bronze, but that was totally fine. So we omitted the slip pocket, and we did that because it's just, I didn't think it was totally necessary. And I didn't think it was totally necessary because you really can't see in there. You could add a slip pocket if you wanted to, but again, I think it's just personal preference. Okay, we've got our snap. We've riveted our handles on, right? And we've got our cute little bow. And our Amara bag is finished. This was not a hard sew. It is listed at, my bow's crooked, as an intermediate pattern. There we go. She's cute. Perfect. But I'll be honest with you, I think that even if you're like advanced beginner, you can do this. You know, the round bottom with the pleating actually makes it easier because you don't have to have everything super precise. You just wing it. Make some pleats, make it look cute and puffy and perfect, and well, perfect for you, and then that's totally fine. So I think you could be an advanced beginner making this bag. I think it's totally doable. It does not take a long time, and it's so cute. I might take it, we have a big party to go to soon, so I might use this as my go-to party bag because it's adorable. We didn't use any interfacing, and the cuts for the material were so minimal, so this bag did not take a long time to cut at all, which I appreciate about bags. Sometimes I cut for hours and hours, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I just want to get to sewing, and this bag wasn't that. Just a few cuts, and you're ready to start sewing, and everything comes together just as it should. I hope that you enjoyed today. I hope you'll pick up this pattern. It will be linked below along with everything that we used today that I can manage to find to link. Sometimes there are things that I don't link and you can just ask me and I'm happy to tell you if I remember where they came from or where I got them. Okay, so grab this pattern, make it. You want to, I want you to, and I want to hear about it. Tell me if you get it. Tell me if you make it. Tell me what you think about it. I love hearing all of your success stories. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you soon.